Ever wondered what it's like to have a secretary or a personal assistant to book appointments and important meetings for you? Well, now Google can be just that. It's rolling out its human-sounding artificial intelligence software that places phone calls for you. And the voice is a naturally sounding voice instead of a robotic one. The tech giant demoed the Google Duplex at its conference earlier this year.
So how can I help you?
Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd.
Sure, give me 1 second. Sure, what time are you looking for around?
At 12 p.m.
A small group of public users were given the go-ahead to start trying it out today, but this has raised some ethical issues for some people. KTV tech expert Ryan Eldridge joins us now to explain it all. Ryan, it's pretty interesting, and you heard people laughing when they heard the language fillers and realistic mannerisms from this artificial intelligence robot.
Yeah, you know, we're so used to talking to Alexa and Siri, and we kind of know that this is it's just a fake artificial intelligence, and we're kind of used to that. Whereas what Google is showing, and they've even improved that since May, is it sounds like a real person. And in fact, there are multiple personalities that are used during the demos. So there's a female voice, a male voice, a British accent, but there's also, they make them sound younger. Some of them sound more nasally, like I do. And so it's a really kind of disconcerting and a little bit uncomfortable when you realize that you're talking to a bot rather than an actual human.
And some people are talking about the ethical issues, saying, you know, maybe Google has to disclose that a robot or artificial intelligence robot, however you want to call it, is actually on the other line. What are some of the issues and what's being discussed right now?
So yesterday, what Google did is it brought a few reporters into a restaurant in New York City, a Thai restaurant in New York City, and allowed the reporters to take live calls from the Google Duplex, basically, and where they would ask for reservations or and they would try to throw different curveballs at the AI system to see how it handled it. But one of the first things that it would do is it would identify itself now as this is the Google Assistant, and this call is being recorded. And it had several different versions of that, and obviously Google's testing out to see which ones humans react to the best. But it says it fairly quickly, and if you're in a busy restaurant situation, you may not necessarily hear it.
Right.
And if you don't hear it and you don't know you're being recorded, that could be a bit of a problem, especially in states where recording phone calls without express permission from the other user can be a problem. Like Texas, for example, Google has said that it's going to do a small rollout. Texas won't be included. But even here in California, you have to tell someone before you get on the phone with them that they're being recorded in order to be able to do it. Otherwise, you're breaking the law.
Well, and then also, I mean, obviously they have to disclose who they're talking to, but when they pick up the phone, those people who might be busy in a restaurant, who might be busy in a hair salon, might hear I'm being recorded and just hang up because they don't really know what it is.
Exactly, and that's in the initial stages of testing this. That's exactly what was happening. Is people were hanging up on the assistant because it sounded too fake. And so as they added in the tones and the change of inflections, the drawing out of words, the adding of the and the ahs and the mm-hms, things like that started to allow people to be kind of duped, and they didn't realize they were talking to an actual bot. And so now they've got this disclaimer up front, and they're still not getting hung up on nearly as much. In fact, 4 out of 5 calls that Google makes are handled entirely by the bot, but it's backed up by a human in a call center. So if something goes wrong or somebody says they don't want to be recorded or they don't want to be dealing with a bot specifically, a human will come on the line instead of the Google Assistant, which is kind of nice.
And quickly, Ryan, what about scammers? Can they abuse this?
Well, so far, Google's not allowing anyone else to use the system except for them and the Google Assistant and a few small users. And they're very concerned about people being able to, like, spam a restaurant, for example, with a bunch of different phone calls or tricking people that they're not supposed to. Obviously, that would be a huge PR problem for Google. They're really saying that this is just sort of a small little test case for small businesses that would need online reservations but aren't set up for that. Because there's a lot of businesses across this country that don't use Open Table or different services that we're so used to using. And this is just gives those small businesses another chance to get somebody who wants a more automated setup, I guess.
Okay. We'll see what happens. Ryan Eldridge with Nerds on Call. Thanks for talking to us.
You're welcome.